Start to actually think about the lyrics to that song, and they're kind of dark.
A little bit. But it's upbeat, you know?
Yes. Anyway, hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to Real Estate It's That Simple on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm your friend in the real estate business, Phil Nordella, and we have, do we have a full show? Of course we do. We have a half-inch show. That's the way I'm going to measure it.
We have a
from
full
now on.
studio.
Oh, we have a full studio. Oh, my God. Yes, Craig and the little one, Cameron's here.
Yeah.
The baby Cameron is here. So if you're on Facebook Live, you've got to, well, you can't
Probably can't see him.
Yeah,
I can see them.
But they're here in the studio, in the actual
I
studio.
promised
which is awesome.
Greg, and will introduce me at some point.
No.
Taylor Williams-Moniz, co-host of the
If they
show.
don't know who you are by now.
Legit, right? You
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, exactly.
But I promised Greg that we would not bring him on air.
Okay,
so
that's not a
we're
problem.
just waving
Okay.
and saying hello.
So let's get those little baby headphones on and kick in Cameron.
Oh,
Get him
just
on
wait. When he starts talking, I'm sure they'll have all kinds of opinions.
Yes, now that's true. I mean, who has those dulcet tones that we talk about all the time?
Oh, that's
Taylor
good.
Williams-Moniz. Taylor Williams, obviously full partner at Donahoe Young and Williams.
Yep.
She's awesome. She is a
you.
multitasker. I mean, come on, right? So she's president of Santa Clara Nevada Bar Association. She's a full partner at Donahoe Young and Williams. She just does it all. She's a baby.
Got a lot of stuff
everything.
going on. Yeah, and I don't know if anyone listened to the previous show, Eye on the Valley. I participated in the trivia.
Good
Wow,
job. Good
no,
job. Oh,
no.
not good job?
No, I knew the answers, but everyone else, they're so fast.
Now you know how I feel.
Man,
In
I'm
all
just so
fairness-
impressed.
In all fairness, how much sleep did you get last night?
3, like
3 hours?
maybe 4.
She's looking at Greg
Yeah.
saying, for confirmation.
Well, because I don't know. When you get that little sleep, you don't really know. I don't know.
You know
Not
what?
a lot. Not a lot. That's the answer. Not a lot.
There is a slight delay when it comes to you thinking after only getting 3 hours
Yes,
sleep.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
There
like,
is a
I
delay.
know the answer.
Yeah, of course.
And they're on to
Matt-
the next question by then, right?
Matt's already taken his point and he's moving on,
Like,
which is messed up.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna have to
But
do
it was
something.
fun.
You know, we're gonna have to set him up somehow. Oh, shh.
Oh my gosh, he's thinking.
Hopefully he's not listening. But what we'll do is set him up, right? Well, the man, I forget his name. That
Matt
actually-
Watson?
No, the man that actually asked the questions. What's
Oh,
his name?
Tony Watson. Yeah.
Tony. So, you know what we'll do? We'll set it up to where we know there's no way that he knows the answers to, but we'll know all of them. Oh,
Yeah,
wouldn't that be awesome?
I know, but
And
I'm
we'll
just
just
thinking-
obliterate him that day.
But what
Wouldn't that be great?
doesn't Matt know? That's
Oh,
the
no.
hard part.
We'll set something up that's ridiculous. I mean, stuff that's ridiculous, like what's the wings, philosophy of a yellow-billed sparrow?
I'm in.
Right? And
It's
then
Monty
it's like
Python.
five.
Yeah.
Or talk
exactly
about
right,
cartoons and Disney, because that's usually when I got him beat.
Right? Yeah.
Or legal
or something
stuff.
like that. Just legal stuff.
I'm in.
Real estate.
This is a good plan.
Okay. All right.
I'll add it to the list. And hey, I mean, speaking of real estate, should we talk about it?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm in. What else should we talk about? But I like the idea.
Hey,
I
okay,
like the idea.
so real estate. Okay, I want to just
Alrighty.
pitch a brand new listing that I got at a Bridgeport condo. Bridgeport is
nice.
awesome.
I like Bridgeport.
Yeah, Bridgeport's
Yeah.
terrific. It's a 2+2. It's an end unit. It's $475,000. It's in incredible shape. We brought it out yesterday, active, and we had 6 showings. We've already got 1 offer.
Wow.
So I'm going to cut offers off. I'm sure we'll probably have 5 or 6 by Sunday night, and we'll cut it off. But if you're
Wowee.
interested in Bridgeport, give me a call 661-312-3561, and it's a good price. And
Do it
will
sooner,
not last long.
Yeah, rather than later.
Exactly right. Okay, so another thing I wanted to say is I actually have a silver sponsor of a new golf tournament, and it's sponsored by Family Promise of Santa Clarita. They're putting on this golf tournament. This is a major fundraiser for them, and it helps to house the homeless families in their transitional house, shelter homeless families in motels, and provide case management, which obviously is an absolute
How
wonderful
great
cause.
is that?
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, so if you'd like to get involved and maybe play in the tournament or maybe become a sponsor, just get a hold of me, Phil Nordella, your friend in real estate. There's a shameless pitch. At
Hey, do it.
661-312-3561, and I will set you up with the people who can help. By the way, the golf tournament is on the 18th of October, and it is Sand Canyon Country Club. I will have a foursome there that I'll be playing with, and I've got some ringers, I'm just going to tell you.
And I am not
Except
one of them.
Except for
Oh.
me. Well, I would ask you, do you play golf?
I do, but not well.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like me.
I'm entertainment. I mean, I do like okay, but I'm not.
I played
I'm not your ringer.
I played yesterday with my
No.
client, Bill Westcott, who I'm going to give a shout out to Bill. He's a really nice guy, and I want to tell you that I won't even go into the fact that some of the things that we deal with that go sideways.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
don't
I
you
know.
don't you hate don't you hate when people actually try to take advantage of you? just because they
Yes,
can.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a quickie story.
Okay.
All right. So I take the Westcotts out to Thousand Oaks. It's terrific. We find a house. It's awesome. It's vacant. It's vacant, which means the vacant people usually say, the sooner we can close it, the better.
So that means no one lives there.
Exactly right. It's like,
Easy
so
to
who
sell.
wants,
Bring your
who wants
toothbrush.
the holding cost
Right.
on that, right?
Right.
So we're supposed to close on the 4th, right, which is on a Monday.
Okay.
But I'm thinking I'm going to do my very best to see if we can't close it early because the people would love that. So we set up the movers. We set up everything for the 1st, which is on a Friday.
Okay.
They're scheduled to be on the 4th, so the sellers think it's going to be on the 4th. But I go, good news. Guess what? We can close it sooner. We've actually
I'm
worked
in.
out the moving
Yeah.
company. We're going to close it sooner, 3 days. It's going to help them a little bit, not a lot, but it's going to be. And they said no. And I said, what do you mean no? And they said no.
What do you mean no?
Did you already set up your movers? It's like, yeah. And they
Yeah.
said, okay, fine. Then if you want us to move it back, move it forward, it's going to cost you $500. And I went, what?
I thought it was more than 500.
Well, it was $1,500. I think that they really, really, definitely wanted because we asked for $1,500 when it came to the
Did they
request
have
for repairs.
like a sleeping bag?
They had a
in
couple
the-
things in the
were they-
garage. And so we said, don't worry about it. We'll help you. We'll actually send some people out there. We'll actually move it for you
That's
out of
generous.
the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
We're solving all the problems, and we're making it sooner. But because they thought we couldn't actually, change the movers, they said we want $500. So guess what I did?
That's
I
good too.
called our friends, the owner, AQMS, right,
Oh,
Moving
yep,
Storage,
yep.
and I said, you got to help me out. They're holding us hostage. They're holding me hostage.
Holding me
They weren't
hostage.
holding my clients hostage. That was going to come out of my pocket. And she said,
no.
let me see what I can do. And she stepped up and
Yep.
she actually switched some people around. We went back to them and said, guess what? Don't even worry about it. We're not going to give you $500. We're going to close it on the 4th.
Yeah.
And so then, lo and behold, later that day, they came back and said, well, we'll take $200 if you'll do it. Friday." And I said, you know what? Sorry, that ship has sailed.
Good for you.
But I don't like when people hold me hostage.
No, I completely agree. I'm surprised you didn't call me. I mean, I can send a nasty gram like the best of them. So
I don't
Greg's
know.
like, yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the situation. But I know that you know that sometimes just because they can, they will try to hold people
Absolutely.
hostage. Just
Unfortunately.
if and here was that I think that comes under the no good deed goes unpunished. I
unpunished.
really tried to help them
Yeah.
out, and they tried to shove it down my throat. Okay.
No, thank you.
So how about this? Things that make you go,
Okay, what do we got?
Well, I don't know. There you go.
There we go.
And now it's time for things that make you go,
The words labor shortage. Those
Yeah.
two words together, labor shortage. Is there really a labor shortage?
Yes.
There is?
Yes.
Because all I see is people looking for people to work. You go to an average restaurant and you see 5 different categories of people that are saying, look, we need help.
Absolutely.
Every business now has signs, but yet there's a labor shortage, which confuses me. And this doesn't really have a lot to do with real estate, but I am confused.
We wanted to
Right?
talk about it.
The
Yep.
words labor shortage is confusing to many people because we see the fact that there are so many jobs available, and yet across the country we're having the unemployment rate at 5.2%. And in California, it's 7.5%. What the heck? Okay? They say the explanation is that even though so many jobs are opening or are opened, workers are not filling those jobs, and then they say it has to do with the fact that these jobs are considered dead-end jobs and that they're reevaluating what they want. The pandemic has had an effect on people
Right.
of what they want out of life.
Okay.
And so they're saying, hey, guess what? I don't want to go back to what I was doing. They want quality jobs. So the fact that there's a shortage in workers is good. It drives up wages,
Right.
right? Which is a good
Definitely.
thing. But it's bad for the mom and pop who are working on such a very small percentage of profit.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
been interesting to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I
things
just thought
that
I'd bring
make
that
you
up.
go,
Things that make you go,
Yeah.
Okay, so if we were to do by the numbers,
I
what
mean,
if he's still ready?
do we want
you
to?
think?
I think he's
Well,
ready.
no. This is actually, these are numbers, so go ahead.
Oh,
Do we have it?
SCV.
See?
By the numbers.
he's ready.
Okay, so Santa Clarita Valley has more than 50,000 new faces citywide.
Pretty cool.
The census results indicate Santa Clarita Valley population has grown by nearly 23% from 2010 to 2020. The population of the Santa Clarita Valley grew by 22%, according to the U.S. Census data received Monday that will be used to redistrict boundaries for various political offices in California. The city added, which is fascinating, 52,353 people over the past 10 years, bringing the city's population, in case you were wondering, to 228,673.
That is
At
specific.
the time, I know, well, they've got to be specific, right? Because that's their job.
Yeah,
At the
definitely.
time of the 2020 U.S. Census Bureau held in April 1st, 2020. Growth in the city over the past decade outpassed 16.7% growth experienced between 2000 and 2010. Between 2000 and 2010, the city grew by 25,232 people. The city's Hispanic population was 51,941 in 2010 and grew to 78,960 in 2020, now accounting for 34% of the city's population. Excuse me.
Nice.
Santa Clara's Asian population increased from 15,025 in 2010 to 26,799 in 2020, or 11.69% of the city's population. Black Santa Claritans accounted for 4% of the city's population, growing from 5,623 to 9,192.
So we're all growing.
Excuse me.
Which
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the news,
Oh my goodness, we got a lot.
And now, in the news.
Quick
so
transition.
we talked about this a little bit, and this is, believe it or not, huge, and I don't even know if a lot of people even know it. Okay?
I did not. I mean, I know about it now, obviously.
It's
but
fascinating.
you brought it to my attention.
So there's a company called Evergrande Group in China. Okay, you say, okay, whatever. What they do is basically they're a real estate company, and they build real estate. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. I'm following you so far.
Okay, so they're tanking.
Right.
Okay, so now you would think, okay, let's just talk about how much they're tanking.
Right.
So if I were to give you the number $300 million, you'd say that's a lot of money, correct?
Correct. I would.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going
Okay.
to say they're $300 billion
With a B.
in debt with a B.
In
okay?
debt.
In debt. It makes you wonder whether China will bail them out, which is interesting because I mean this is like the Chinese Lehman Brothers,
Yeah.
and Lehman Brothers went bust, right? So let's just talk about it. This is the world's most indebted property developer and the largest property developer in the world.
How do they get that far before? You know what I mean?
They're
I mean,
scrambling.
I know we're going to go through it, but that was the first thought that I had.
And here's the interesting thing: I've actually seen. Oh, where are you going?
He's waking up. He wanted to chime in about the Chinese
Oh,
company with
okay.
the debt.
All right.
Yeah, so we're
All
going.
right.
Greg's got
Wow. Yeah, he's already being censored.
it. Yep.
Okay, so I've actually watched things on this. Have you ever seen the 60 Minutes thing when they had on China that they went to actual cities that had all these rises built?
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's there.
Living
They
it, yeah.
actually did the actual interview walking down the street where there was no one. Well, that's what's going on. They're scrambling to pay their suppliers and warned investors that it could default on its debt twice in the last few months. They said, look, we could default. It's probable. It's very probable. They're trying to pay off their debtors with property that they can't afford, and they have collected all the monies on those properties. So they've actually gotten all the monies, and they're saying, hey, we'll give you these properties.
Right.
Whoever was underwriting that debt got to feel pretty bad right now. Summit Hong Kong, HSBC, and Standard Hong Kong declined to extend any new loans to buyers to complete current projects. They have enough. They have enough floor space. You're gonna love this.
Oh, yeah.
They have enough floor space that they're working on that would actually be 3/4 of the size of Manhattan. Can you imagine getting a half of Manhattan done, building,
No.
and then saying you can't finish?
No.
Their shares went from $69 a share. Today I checked it; it's $7.75 a share.
Yeah, it was a.
Now,
How does it get this far?
that's a great question.
I'm just right.
I have no
Because
idea.
I'm thinking about the United States. Okay, we'd have a bankruptcy situation. We'd have a receivership, most likely. I mean,
The
Woo.
numbers, though, when you think about it, okay, so their stocks plummeted 80% so far. Trading
a bad
bonds.
year.
Actually, China actually stopped trading a few times on the stock exchange from this company because it was so erratic.
Right.
Okay, that's how big they are. They own
saying
more than
something.
1,300 real estate projects in 280 cities in China. They're working on 2,800 projects in over 300 cities. They are huge. They've got over 200,000 employees.
Wow.
And they create 3.8 million jobs, according to their website.
Not anymore.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
70,000 investors are not getting paid. Companies that we've invested in, like BlackRock, which I own stock in, right? For some reason, it took a hit but came right back, which is interesting. J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs all have investments in that company. I mean, you can't have any of these big investment firms not have it.
Right.
The
the way that
problem
it
for
works.
China, and this is what's scary. The problem for China is that real estate construction is 20% of their GDP.
I didn't know that. When I was
20%.
researching this article, I did not know that. That's huge.
In America, real estate construction is 6.3% of our GDP.
Yeah, right.
And you remember what happened with us in America when we had a real estate crash, and that was just 6%.
Yeah.
So now this
I know.
is 20%.
This is wild. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Household debt is now 62% of the GDP in China, and it was 39% in 2015. So I'm not sure where's that money going. This is what they're saying is kind of good for us. Where's the money going when they sell off all those stocks? I mean, there's a lot of stocks. So they're saying, well, Germany, Switzerland, and the U.S. However, benchmarks are negative, and I don't even know what that means, to be honest. Benchmarks are negative in Germany and Switzerland. You have to pay to invest where the benchmark is still paying, was actually still paying here in America. So it's possible that all of those investments can actually come here and invest in American companies, which is awesome. It's also possible that because of this, mortgage interest rates could go down into the ones.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Would be great for you.
Oh, yes. It would.
Can you imagine?
No, I
Can
can't
you imagine
actually.
if you locked in at 1.8 or 1.5?
That'd be a good day.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be a good day.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so
So we'll have to see what happens. 'Cause
Yes.
This is huge.
it is very
Yeah.
huge.
Yep.
Okay, so what's next? This is fun.
Oh, it is fun. And I should mention, I don't know if she's listening, but shout out to Michelle, who's my assistant, but my friend. She's amazing. Yesterday, she printed all of this stuff for me because I was at the office and doing 900 things. But she printed it like you print it.
Oh,
So it's huge.
I love it.
I know. I know. I giggled. I'm like, okay, I got
I
this.
can see that. I can see that from here.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
which is good. But so wherever you want to go, she printed everything. She organized it for me. Like, I am here for it.
Okay. So let's do this one just before we take our break.
Okay.
So Redfin CEO, Zillow, pour cold water on TikTokers' iBuyer theory.
Do you know what TikTok is?
Hang on a second. TikTok is it's a
I mean,
I know.
I have TikTok. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, same.
it's a website that does videos.
Okay.
Is it?
Close enough, yeah.
Close enough.
Close
yeah.
enough.
Shares content about all different kinds of, like, literally everything. Anything and everything you'd want to see.
Kind of like
Hey,
Vine.
Since
Yeah.
I saw you, I turned 64.
Okay.
Since I saw you last.
Okay.
So TikTok, I know, is a younger person's thing, and I know I'm old, but I was
Bill's
close.
birthday
right?
was on Monday. Did you call him, Patty?
Did you call me son?
Because I did.
Did you, pal, son?
You're breaking up.
Okay.
This
okay.
took a turn.
We're sitting
Anyway.
right next to you.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd let you know.
But so I think
But
it's
thanks.
interesting. We're going to talk about TikToks and iBuyers because typically with TikTok you think that it's silly stuff like, jumping over milk cartons, but it actually has, interesting content on it. So
Which
go
is
ahead. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, so that's what it is. TikTok that I'm watching when people are jumping over milk cartons.
yeah. Typically those
That's
little
funny.
videos. Yeah. Or the
Okay.
milk crates that people were trying to
Oh,
stand on
the
and they were
milk
all
crate
falling
challenge.
down.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
The moron
I know,
challenge.
I can't. Yeah.
They
That's
should just
another one of
actually
them,
put it-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But now we're
so
talking about iBuyers.
This is a recent viral video suggested iBuyers could jack up the prices of homes. But one expert called the theory fairly conspirational.
Conspiratorial.
Yeah, it is fine. And iBuyers themselves say they still have a tiny share of the market.
They're hanging on with their fingernails.
Okay, so here's the situation. Last week, Las Vegas real estate agent Sean Gotcher, it sounds good,
Yeah, it's a good
took
name.
on the iBuyers. In a video on TikTok, Gotcher laid out a hypothetical scenario in which a large unnamed company that everybody used, starts buying up homes in a neighborhood for $300,000.
Okay.
After buying up 30 houses, though, the company in Gotcher's scenario voluntarily pays $340,000 for an equivalent home, thus boosting the value of all the other properties. What that
How likely
just
is that?
did is create a new comp.
Okay.
Gotcher says in the video. So when they go out to see these 30 homes, the extra $40,000 that you can say this one just sold for just made them $1.2 million.
But
Interesting.
how likely is that?
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's not
That's
going to
what
happen.
that's
What
what I'm
Gautier is essentially describing is the potential for the iBuyers to fix prices. If a company owns all the houses in a given area, that company could arguably set prices for those homes independent of normal supply and demand. If you control an entire supply, the logic goes, people have to pay whatever you want. Gautier doesn't mention a specific company name, but basically they're probably talking about Zillow.
Your favorite?
My favorite. But it's funny because all of these companies like Zillow and Redfin and Open Door and all of these, they always say, we're so big, we're taking over it because everybody's using us.
Right.
And then somebody like this comes out and says, hey, this could happen. They automatically shy away
Oh,
and go,
no,
we're
we
little.
wouldn't do
We're
that.
itty
We're
bitty
not.
babies.
We don't buy
We're just
up
1% of the market. We're
Exactly.
nothing, right?
Right.
Which I find is interesting. So, but here's the problem. The problem is, it ain't gonna happen.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this video did get, 8,000 something views, which is, not a ton, but for iBuyer on TikTok, that's more than I would think. So
Here's the splashing cold water in the face of this whole thing. I'm shocked when one person in Santa Clarita actually sells to a Redfin
Yeah.
or a Zillow
Yeah.
or an Open Door because they give away all their equity. And I think people are smarter than that. So for them to say, well, if somebody comes into a tract that's got 400 AO homes and buys 30 of them,
exactly.
well, you got to find 30 morons in that one tract that are actually going to sell to these people.
And not here.
No.
Especially if they listen to the show. They're smarter than the average.
That's what
bear.
we like.
That's
Santa
what I'm
Clarita is too
saying.
smart for that.
I'm seriously, that's what I'm saying.
And guess what? We're late to
We
sell
are
our televisions.
very late, actually.
So I
Whoops.
think we need to take a break.
But we'll be back.
Okay? True.
Make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. Duh.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
Take the stress out of moving. Affordable Quality Moving and Storage has been owned and operated in Santa Clarita since 1996. They excel at relieving you of the pressures of moving. You can be assured your belongings are safe and will arrive at your new location, whether it's down the street or across the country. Discover the difference. AQMS, Affordable Quality Moving and Storage. Read the reviews online at aqmsnationalmoving.com. AQMS, Santa Clarita's favorite moving company.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at Marla, FERRIS.com.
Donahoe Young & Williams is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe Young & Williams can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe Young & Williams can help with debt negotiation and, when needed, bankruptcy under Chapters 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at dywlaw.com.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Hey, okay. We're back. That was quick.
Good.
Welcome back to Real Estate Is That Simple on KHTS 1220 AM, 98.1 FM, and on Facebook Live. I'm back here with Taylor Williams-Moniz and our adopted son, Patrick.
Hello.
Which we really didn't
We didn't
introduce,
actually.
didn't we? We kind of just
Sorry.
blew by you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Blame my son.
You know why I did that?
Blame your actual son.
Not, yeah, he just, when he's here, everyone.
Blame your actual son.
Which,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
I showed on the commercial break that he was in here.
Yes.
Just for everybody to be like,
I know, thank you. He's
Yeah.
very cute.
a star is born,
I
ladies and
ignored
gentlemen.
you because you didn't send anything to me, like a shout out to on my birthday.
I know.
So that's why you just ignored me
Hey.
completely. That's fine.
What's that? I'm getting a call? Going to break again?
Golly.
Hey, okay.
Happy
So what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Let's
right.
let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk. I think we're. You know
Realtor
what?
safety.
Did you know what? It's Realtor Safety
I
Month.
did not actually know that.
Neither
I mean,
did
now
I.
I know, but yeah. I didn't realize that was the thing. But if you think about it in the profession, okay, you're meeting people that you don't necessarily know. It's, of course you get credit checks and whatnot, but people can come from all over the place. You're showing them around. Sometimes you have them in your car with you pre-COVID, but it's a lot.
It's got to be a
So,
concern
yeah.
for women. I mean, even men too, but for women especially.
Yeah.
Because you get all sorts of crazy out there. Well,
Yeah,
this
so it
agent
makes sense.
on Inman has said for agents staying safe on the job includes protecting yourself against COVID-19, but discussion of pandemic protocols has been largely absent from Realtor Safety Month, which is interesting.
Interesting,
Okay?
yeah. 'Cause that's-
September is Realty Safety Month. No job is totally safe, including selling real estate. Agents are killed in car accidents. This is exciting. Agents are killed in car accidents. Some are robbed, murdered, or assaulted. Well, thank you. Real estate
cheery.
agents face dangers every day.
Yep.
Which is why there is a Realtor Safety Month. So far this September, I have attended a couple of free webinars, and that's not me. That's this lady that's writing this. A couple of free webinars with useful information about how to stay safe on the job. Check your local association, state association, or national association for safety tips. For those who feel safe on the job, may be especially at risk, who should review safety basics. No one is exempt from accidents or from being a crime victim, which is why I like to review the safety tips every September. She goes on to say none of the safety tips for Realtor Safety Month address the deadly pandemic and that has killed over 680,000 people and that Americans and has affected at least 41 million people. Right now, there are over 2,000 COVID deaths in the U.S. every day. She goes on to say that there's a major problem, obviously. It's easy to meet with people virtually and tour houses the way you used to, but most people want to meet in person to see
Right.
houses. She's saying that, look, if you're going to do it, she says, I made my own safety rules because I can, and so can you make your own safety rules. Even people who do not believe in COVID-19 or in vaccinations get COVID, and some die. She says, I am planning on surviving and believing that in the long term as a group, vaccinated people will have better lives and better businesses. She says no one in the ICU on a ventilator with COVID-19 will work on the 12 things that they need to know. They need to know to grow their businesses or to build their brand. This is some of the things she says. I will not meet people in person who are not vaccinated.
Have you found that to be the case in your experience?
Well, it's interesting because it's I don't want to say I'm lax because I'm not. I will meet with people and I'll always say I'm going to gear up if that's okay with you. And they say, oh, absolutely, yeah, that's fine. Do you mind if I don't? And I'm like, it's hard if they,
Do you still have to sign the form? Because remember about a year ago, because I was like barely pregnant, I looked at a house in on Texas Avenue, and you set that up for me, and we had to sign the waiver about all the COVID precautions, and you'll wash your hands, and you won't touch anything, and you wear a mask.
It's a thing of the past.
Got it. Because this next one that we looked at the other week, we didn't have to do that.
We didn't,
so.
yeah.
Okay.
And the nice thing about that one was vacant.
Yeah.
But we are still saying, look, when I put something new into the MLS, I always say, here's the situation. Observe the protocols. Gear up. Make sure you wear a mask.
Definitely.
I put my little Phil Nordella hand sanitizers
Good.
there. I know they won't take them because the realtor's not going to give my hand sanitizer to their
But
client
why
that says Phil
not?
Nordella on it.
Yeah.
So they may use it, right?
Right.
But they're not going to give it to them. And I put booties on there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's important. But
Got it.
she's saying, look, there's just saying things. She goes, so far I haven't had to ask anyone about their status. They just tell me. I don't want to have to ask. I tell them that I am fully vaccinated, and I let them know that I am going to wear a mask. And we meet in person, indoors, and consistently. They have done the same. So, but it is Realtor Safety
Realtor
Month.
Safety Month.
Yep. So
Good to know.
yeah, absolutely.
They don't have Lawyer Safety Month, as far as I know. They don't have Safety Month for sharks, right? That's sad.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
I had to.
By the way,
right?
you used two words that would, just on this last thing that I wanted to circle back on. You said you were barely pregnant. How do you become barely pregnant?
Yeah, good point. Pregnant, not far along in my pregnancy, I guess is
I
more
was barely pregnant.
technical.
Passable.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Next thing: 7 ways to find dependable renters now that the moratoriums are ending.
Yes.
Okay, after a rocky start and a half, after a rocky year and a half, due to local and federal eviction moratoriums, most landlords and property managers are finding ways to ensure they pick solid tenants this time around. A lot of these things here, which is interesting, are common sense. Okay, the centers.
Yeah, no, I just was going to
Yeah.
chime in because when we talked about this, we have at my office at least so many people that are having issues, unfortunately, with renters having to do with COVID and whatnot. And there's a thought that when the moratorium ends, here in a week, and people can start giving notices, getting those tenants out, getting new tenants in. We've had a lot of people ask us, "Hey, what do you suggest in terms of finding new tenants?" Which you can't find a perfect one, but these seem pretty common sense to me.
This reminds
good.
me. I have a question for you.
Oh,
No, this is good.
okay.
So last night I went
I have
out
an
and
answer.
actually met some friends that
Okay.
actually have a home in San Fernando,
Okay.
and it was my friend's brother. Never met them, but the brother died. Okay,
Oh,
and they've got
gosh.
renters. It's a rental, right? And it's in interesting shape. But yeah, interesting. No,
Okay,
it's,
I read you.
It's two houses away from San Fernando High, and it's one of those things to where you get there, and all of the wood basically is deteriorating
Okay.
from dry rot and
Yeah.
stuff, and they've
Yeah.
got pipes that come out of the stucco, go up and go back into the stucco, and you're like, where does that go? That type of thing.
Nice, yeah.
Well, I was talking to one of my investors, and he said, okay, so do they have a rental agreement with the people that are in it? And I said, I don't know, but I'll find out. And so I said, but it's interesting because there's another bedroom in the garage. They just made the garage. They put another bed in there. And so he says, is there somebody that lives there that's paying rent to the person who's paying rent to the owners? And I went, I don't know. He goes, because if it is, it's going to be a multi-tenant situation. And it's going to be harder to get them out. And so that's
I'm shaking my head. Yes, that's correct.
That's the
Doesn't seem to make sense. How can I stick somebody in a garage and then all of a sudden they have tenant rights?
they have tenant rights.
Yep. In California. There's ways to navigate around this and get people out, but
Well, we may have to talk about that.
I'm
'Cause
in.
I may actually invest in this because I think I'm going to. I don't want to be an iBuyer, right? But
please don't.
I have a little bit of extra cash, right? That I
Nice.
think, and I'm actually helping these investors buy these. And I thought, why aren't I in?
Hey, man.
Because when they pull up
Okay.
in their G-Wagon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
What are they doing?
they're obviously,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You know what's funny is I thought a G-Wagon, which is a Mercedes, like the little
Correct.
square box Mercedes.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
I thought
not-
I
they're
could
not
buy one of
little.
those. Those are probably like 32,000.
Oh,
That's probably one of the cheapies.
It's like a house.
I looked at it. It was 180 grand.
Yeah.
180 grand for a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's see if we can't circle back. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention eviction moratorium was struck down by the Supreme Court a few weeks ago, and some landlords now are maybe looking for new tenants to fill the apartment vacancies they left in its wake. Okay, so these are the things that you should check. I know you're going to say these are all duh. Okay, first thing, run a
Just like
thorough
that.
credit check.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, which goes without saying, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, look for a history of stable employment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense also.
Yep.
Let's see. I won't go a deep dive into all of these when it comes to what they say about them. Talk to others about the applicant.
Yes.
So you get some people and you call their friends and relatives and stuff. I'm sure you're probably still going to get a good. If an owner wants to get rid of a tenant, sometimes they'll write anything. So what they're saying is, I want to get rid of you. So if you leave me, I'm going to give you a letter of recommendation saying that you're great
That
as
actually
long as you
happens.
leave me.
That happens a lot.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah, but it happens a lot.
So to
Yep.
people that understand what I'm saying is, they're saying that
Phil owns a building and I'm the tenant.
exactly right,
and
and you're terrible.
I'm awful.
You're awful.
The worst tenant.
But
And I tell Phil I'm moving and I have to put you, my landlord, on the application. And
and
Phil,
I hate you.
Right.
But
So
I wanna
Pat,
get you out.
well, I want to move into Patty's building. So Patty calls Phil and says, "Hey, how is Taylor as a tenant?"
Taylor's awesome, Patty. So you know what? With open arms, you should take her.
We're
Please.
really sad to leave her, unfortunately. And then a lot of landlords, so Phil, in your situation, you
messed up.
justify it by, well, she has been there for a while, and when she
Yep.
goes out, we can raise the price, and so we know she's going to move.
That
Yeah,
way I can
yeah.
look myself in the mirror.
Lies. Yep. Yeah, so that does happen a lot.
Okay. Next, look out for red flags.
I mean,
Okay.
Okay.
A history of past evictions and/or violent felonies were at the top of this list.
so can I just say, I mean, I know we're all laughing, but it's
terrible.
for people that have had issues with COVID and whatnot, and then facing eviction is terrifying, right? And I always tell people having an eviction on your record in the state of California is a nail in the coffin. You're not going to be able to rent. I mean, not as a definitive word, but it's going to be very difficult for you to rent. So when I read this one, I kind of laughed because as a landlord, you see someone with an eviction that, like you do with your pieces of paper, that one's flying across
Goodbye.
the room.
Thanks for playing.
Exactly. So definitely a red flag. Yeah.
Okay. So next, upgrade the unit, which is interesting. The heck does that mean?
That means make the unit nicer so that you're attracting a different kind of tenant.
Oh.
Not the one that's going to be in the garage with the twin bed, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
I
that means.
like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. It
This is a
says it
big
right
one.
here. In order to get the highest rent price they can afford it right now, that they would be a great way to increase the rent. They upgrade the unit,
Exactly.
which makes sense. Okay. So how about this? Consider requiring lease guarantors or
Dude,
cosigners.
for my clients that are landlords, this is huge. I mean, obviously in most commercial properties, you've got, a business that's your tenant, but then also if you can get a personal guarantee, that's important. But also in the residential field, I know when I was looking for my apartment in law school, my credit wasn't bad, but it just was young. And so they wanted my dad to co-sign, which I ended up moving somewhere else. But that's a pretty good way. Cause if the more people that the landlord can get on the hook, the more pots you have from which to collect if something goes south.
Yep.
So
And I've done that with my kids before in the past.
Oh, you're nice.
I just say.
My dad was like, nope.
Yeah, no, it's like whatever. I always go, yeah, that's fine. And the last thing is they say work with a real estate broker.
Well, duh.
There
Right?
you go, duh.
I had to.
I like it.
But yeah. But those are, and if anybody listening does have questions, because I don't think there's going to be this mass eviction exodus that people are talking about. But if anybody is listening that's a landlord and they have questions about, the new tenants or rent control or things like that, give us a call.
Yep.
So.
This is the interesting thing. Yeah. In fact, it was funny because the buyer that I talked to about the place in San Fernando, he said, "Look, don't worry about it. They don't have to evict them. We'll buy it. I'll buy it. It's not a problem.
Occupied. Eek.
And tenant occupied, and I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it." And then he said, "But wait a minute. You think that there's somebody else paying rent?" He goes, "That's a completely and
It
totally
is.
different thing. So now it's like a multifamily or whatever, and it's like,
Yeah.
boy."
Yeah. It's much more work, time, money. Yeah.
He said he would have to adjust the price because of that.
Correct.
Which
I would
makes
agree.
sense.
I would agree with that assessment. So
Cool. We're all on the same page.
as usual.
I like it. And I
which
think
is
we've
so
actually
good.
caught up because we were so late. So I think it's time for us to break
Yes,
again.
I think we
Wow,
will.
that was quick.
Yep. We'll be
Okay,
back.
we'll be right back.
I do what I want when I'm wanting to. My soul so cynical. So you're a tough guy, like you really rough.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple. Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at Marla, FERRIS.com.
If you're looking for an SUV-based home design firm you can trust, look no further. Style My Space is a recognized leader in luxury vacant home staging and interior design projects for all of northern Los Angeles County since 2006. Their 5-star reputation for beautiful staging installations helps sellers realize up to 10% higher offers in as little as 1/3 the time as non-staged homes. Get an instant quote on our website at stylemyspace.com. That's stylemyspace.com.
Donahoe Young and Williams is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe Young and Williams can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe Young and Williams can help with debt negotiation and, when needed, bankruptcy. under Chapters 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at dywlaw.com.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Hey, okay. Welcome back to Real Estate. It's that simple on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I'm here. Taylor's here. Patrick's here. We're all here.
We're all
so
here.
is Greg. Triple G's outside, rocking the baby back and forth. And Cameron is so adorable.
So squishy.
We were just talking, you know what? And I hate to admit this. I had to tell her, you know, a lot of kids, a lot of babies, you know, women would go, "Oh, all babies are cute." It's not true.
I would not say that.
all babies
I
are
would
cute.
not say all babies are cute.
You know,
'cause
some
there's
babies are
not.
cute. Some babies are, oh my God, to where you go,
Grow out of it.
what a
His
cute
little toes.
baby
He has
you've
such
got.
cute toes.
Oh yeah,
look
look
at
at
the
the
tiny
little
feet. Yep. See, I got
but
you.
that little one, Cameron, is adorable.
He's very
Good
cute.
for you. But you know, I expected nothing less.
Oh, thank
You know,
you.
the
Well,
two of
you know,
guys.
the overachiever that I am. Yeah.
Hey, termites.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was going to talk about this earlier. Oh, I can't even. So, Greg and I rent a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath on the west side that we love. I was in our 3rd bedroom, which was supposed to be my home office / Greg's like gaming room, but I just completely took it over because I basically work, you know, nonstop in there.
I'd expect nothing less.
You're right. So I'm in there on a conference call, and all of a sudden I look on the floor and have heart failure because there's like I'm trying not to exaggerate, but probably 35 what look like winged ants just all over the floor. And so I pause. I'm like, if I screamed as loud as I screamed, like you guys would lose your hearing. Freaking out. So he comes in. Anyway, find out termites. So the next day, go into the kitchen. He's taking a nap. The nanny has the baby. I go to get some water. Little winged things are all over the floor.
No wonder your dog runs around like that. Yeah, okay, good.
So the pest control came yesterday, and they're indeed termites. They're upstairs, there's downstairs. I actually saw them all over the floor in our hallway when we were leaving today. So they weren't there last night when I got home. So I don't know if they're going to tent it, in which case Greg and I are just going to come live with you, which is totally fine.
Which is absolutely
I'm kidding,
okay.
we would not do that. But so it's
But you could.
Thank you. I appreciate you. But it's just, you know, it's a bummer. And so when my stepmom said, well, if you owned, you wouldn't have this problem. I said, indeed, actually, stepmom, I would, but I would have to pay for it.
Exactly.
So,
there is a difference.
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
So, okay. So that's scary
Yeah.
if you don't have a brand new baby.
Oh, phew.
Having a brand new baby makes it terrifying.
Our property manager is so lovely. And not only does she know that I'm a real estate attorney that owns a law firm, but that I have an 8-week-old, that I'm like very nice to her, but I speak to her like this. Azita, I have a problem, and I put it in writing. Like she's lovely, and I know she's like, oh heck, we're gonna actually have to do this right.
It's funny the way you describe them. In my mind, I was thinking about those monkeys that had the wings.
Oh,
exactly.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. When she said, "Oh, these big things, they got the wings and everything," I went, "That's what I thought of."
It's like the size of like a thumbnail, but they've got.
Oh no, yeah, no,
wings.
that's messed up.
It's out.
And just so that you know, being in real estate for quite a bit of time, that is really bad when they get to the point where they're actually setting up shop in your hallways.
They're swarming,
and
is
stuff.
what it's called. Yeah, and your kitchen.
Swarming.
That's what the pest guy said. He's very lovely.
Now, here's the other thing that obviously you know. You can't just deal with your apartment.
Yeah.
You have to deal with the building, because if you deal with your apartment, it's like saying, I think I use the analogy, if somebody smokes on an airplane, you can't just fumigate that seat that they were sitting in. You fumigate
as long as I'm in first class, like there's no smoke that's going to get to business, right? Or coach.
Chances are there's a guard for that. Yes,
I know,
absolutely.
I know.
But so if they're saying, well, we'll take care of that with you in your unit, Well, it's
No,
the building.
They're much smarter than that. I mean,
Okay.
and
Especially with the fact that you probably scared the hell out of them.
yeah, I did. But I was very diplomatic and polite. But yeah, I was on the letterhead because they know who I am. And so and I tell Greg this all the time. Like, I don't necessarily care about he and I. Like, it's our our baby that matters as well, and the crazy dogs. Because if something happened to them, what would we talk about?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what you can do?
What?
Is you can actually say, our dog was docile until this happened.
But that would be
and
such
now
a lie.
look.
Oh, no.
Look.
Yeah, oh my God. If they deposed anyone from my office, they'd be like, this dog was crazy 10 years ago.
Or you can say, Cameron was in his crib, and all of a sudden all these winged things picked him up and started carrying him towards the door. And you can say, this is not acceptable.
I love that you're like, you have a gleam in your eye. If that happened, like, people would die. Like, no, we're not going there.
These little things pick up the baby. Okay, yeah, no.
No, termites are not stealing my child. Anyway, so
She gave you the look.
No,
she kind of did. I kind of got. I got a scary feeling.
I'm stressed out about this. So
okay, well, we're going to get that taken care of. You've
Thank
already
you.
taken care of it perfectly, and if there's anything I can do, which I can't, but if there's anything I can do, like give you a good.
You know what? I'm actually gonna just bring Felix over if you can watch her.
Can you imagine? Oh, yeah.
dog.
Okay. Oh God.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll ask my wife to bring home some kind of doggy downers from work.
No. Yeah. Anyway, so that
okay.
stinks.
But think about what they've got to do. How many people in the building
There's 8 units
that they have to actually ask to leave for 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, it would be.
And they have to pack up everything.
Oh, yeah.
All of their cereal and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
They got to pack all that stuff up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a lot. I know it's an
that's a big
undertaking,
thing.
but
Well,
hopefully,
like I said,
hopefully they do it right.
We do have extra rooms. We've got 2 rooms. We've got one for you. We've got one for for little.
I thought you were
guy.
gonna say for the dog. That you shoved the dog in the closet.
No, the dog has to stay in the house.
No!
Maybe that'll help.
This is awful.
Okay, so we're running out of time.
We are.
We are
Darn
kind of running out of
termites.
time.
Mhm.
What do we have? 2 minutes?
Yeah, I know that you want to talk about coming soon.
I'd like to talk about that, but I don't know if we have enough time.
Okay.
So
well, I'll follow you.
okay, so yeah, we don't have.
Well, you
enough
know what
time.
I could ask? What I mean, just quickly, we're in the
Yes.
fall, right? I think yesterday was the first day of fall. What are we looking at? What's the housing? I
Okay.
mean, what? Give
Good-
us a little snapshot.
Good job. As far as the markets and economy, according to Inman News, the fall housing outlook
Okay.
is cooling prices, tighter inventory, less competition. That's what they're saying. As the weather cools, so too will competition and housing prices.
How does this make sense though? Tighter inventory,
Yeah.
but less competition.
That I don't. Well, that really means that the buyer pool is drying up.
Okay.
But
Okay.
as far as the tighter inventory, I don't really personally believe that.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be the case here.
It does not. No, inventory is going up. It says it looks like fall. The real estate agents will have. No, I get it. Okay, so what they're saying is basically home price growth is peaking. Mortgage rates should hold steady. Inventory will remain mostly low, which I don't believe. It's going up here.
Here it's going up, yeah. But good to know about. I mean, interest rates steady. So.
Yeah, and we
yeah.
got 1 more minute. So
Well, people that are listening that actually would like to know more about this, which everyone should call you. And how do they find you?
they just actually call me at 661-312-3561 or get on philnordella.com.
Which is a
and
really
just-
good website. I know
yeah,
I've mentioned that
peruse
before.
my website.
but
How
yeah,
about you?
It's good stuff.
If they want to know more information about your termites.
Yeah, because I'm up 21 hours a day at this point. 661-259-9000 or dywlaw.com.
And I promise you, coming soon is a hot mess. We'll actually be talking about,
It's
as
fun.
soon as we start. It
Absolutely.
really is. It
It
really
is.
is. Hey,
Thanks,
everybody,
everybody, for
have a
listening.
wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and we'll
Definitely.
see you next week,
Absolutely.
God willing.